I've been talking an awful lot lately about a condition called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO. This is a condition in which unhealthy bowel flora have proliferated and have ascended up from the colon and into many feet of ileum, jejunum, duodenum, and stomach. And it's responsible for a whole range of health conditions, such as irritable bowel syndrome, fibromyalgia. It can cause or worsen autoimmune conditions. It can cause or worsen inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. It can accompany coronary disease, type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes, overweight and obesity, and it can block your ability to lose weight. So it can show up as so many different ways. Well, yet another way is that of restless leg syndrome. It sounds like kind of a benign condition, right? Just restless legs. But it makes the sufferer miserable because it disrupts sleep, especially it blocks the descent, the necessary and healthy descent into deep phases of restorative sleep, deep non-REM and REM sleep. And the person becomes miserable, and chronic sleep deprivation brings on a whole new range of health complications, such as depression, an increased risk for heart disease and type 2 diabetes, and even cancer and dementia. So there's been a lot of work done in restless leg syndrome, and the cause is not known. And that's why people often prescribe awful drugs like anti-seizure drugs and sedatives like benzodiazepines and antidepressants, which all do not work very well. Well, there's now evidence that restless leg syndrome in approximately 2/3 of people who have this condition is really SIBO. And there's nothing lost in diving into this idea. If you think you have SIBO because you have restless leg syndrome, or because maybe you have some of the telltale signs of SIBO, I have a video about that. Telltale signs like signs of fat malabsorption or intolerance to prebiotic fibers, or fibromyalgia, which is essentially synonymous with SIBO. If you have any of those telltale signs along with restless leg syndrome, it's virtually guaranteed that you have SIBO. But what do you do if you have SIBO? Well, that's a whole long conversation of its own. I cover that in some other videos, as well as in my Wheat Belly blog, Undoctored blog, and the true deep dive into how to manage it on your own without the doctor in my Undoctored Inner Circle website. But in a nutshell, you have suspicion for SIBO, particularly if you have any of those telltale signs for SIBO, confirm that you have SIBO, or proceed empirically, that is based on your best judgment. And there's a new device now called the AIRE device, A-I-R-E. It's a consumer device that you can buy, and see my videos on how to use the AIRE device, my Wheat Belly blog and Undoctored blog. And then we eradicate the organisms of SIBO. We use 2 herbal antibiotic regimens. We add some other supplements to increase efficacy, the effectiveness of treatment, and then we take a multi-step approach to prevent recurrences, because recurrence of SIBO is a real problem. And the last thing you want is to have recurrent, say, restless leg syndrome or fibromyalgia. So join my conversations if you think that you have SIBO. Know that you can do this, and you know what? You can do this on your own. You can even do this without your doctor. I should say without the interference and blundering of the doctor, because 98% of my colleagues have no idea what this condition is, despite its many varied manifestations.